What's good? It's your boy Reylo. I'm back. It's another episode of the Biblical Blueprint. We're going chapter by chapter, verse by verse through the Bible to show you that this is the ultimate book for life and business. So let's go ahead, let's start. So we're getting into Genesis chapter 12. We're talking about Abram and we're talking about faith in motion. Faith in motion. One of the things I just want to bring up is that the Bible is just about people. It is about people who didn't have faith and, they always didn't succeed. But we're going to highlight the people who did have faith and how they did succeed. And we're going to talk about, the first action hero of the Bible, Abram. You know what I'm saying? This isn't an action story. We're going to get into his action, but we're going to talk about, some of his several journeys that he has. So, we're going to just go ahead and let's just get into Genesis 12 and let's see the journey that Abram has.
Genesis 12, 1-20, ERV. The Lord said to Abram, "Leave your country and your people, leave your father's family, and go to the country that I will show you. I will build a great nation from you. I will bless you and make your name famous. People will use your name to bless other people. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. I will use you to bless all the people on earth." So Abram left Haran just like the Lord said, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the slaves and all the other things he had gotten in Haran. Then he and his group moved to the land of Canaan. Abram traveled through the land as far as the town of Shechem, and then to the big tree at Moreh. The Canaanites were living in the land at that time. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "I will give this land to your descendants." Abram built an altar to honor the Lord who appeared to him there. Then he left that place and traveled to the mountains east of Bethel. He set up his tent there. Bethel was to the west, and Ai was to the east. Abram built another altar at that place to honor the Lord, and he worshipped the Lord there. Then he moved on toward the Negev, stopping for a time at several places on the way. During this time there was not enough food in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to live.
"Look, I know that you are a very beautiful woman. When the Egyptian men see you, they will say, 'This woman is his wife.' Then they will kill me and keep you alive because they want you. So tell them that you are my sister. Then they will be good to me because of you. In this way you will save my life,
So when Abram went into Egypt, the Egyptian men saw that Sarai was a very beautiful woman. Even some of Pharaoh's officials noticed her and told Pharaoh how beautiful she was, so they took her to Pharaoh's house. Pharaoh was kind to Abram because he thought Abram was Sarai's brother. He gave Abram sheep, cattle, donkeys, camels, and men and women servants. Pharaoh took Abram's wife, so the Lord caused Pharaoh and all the people in his house to have very bad diseases.
"You have done a very bad thing to me. Why didn't you tell me Sarai was your wife? You said, 'She is my sister.' Why did you say that? I took her so that she could be my wife, but now I give your wife back to you. Take her and go."
Then Pharaoh commanded his men to lead Abram out of Egypt. So Abram and his wife left that place and took everything they had with them. Genesis 12, 1-20, ERV.
All right, bro. So we back. We see that God strikes up a covenant with Abram. He tells him that he's going to bless Abram and people are going to be blessed by the name of Abram. You know what I'm saying? You see that God tells him to get up, and that's the faith in motion. And once he gets up, he takes his wife Sarah, he takes Lot, and one of the things it doesn't tell you is like he had a lot of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Abram was a very successful man. He had a lot. You know what I'm saying? He was very, very faithful to God. So, you're just seeing the faith and obedience that Abram had. And once he started to go and be faithful to God, things started to be clearer to him. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing the divine covenant that Abram has, with God. He is going to bless Abram, and people are going to be blessed from Abram because God knows Abram's heart. He knows that he is obedient. He knows that he is going to follow the way, and he's going to bless people, bless Abram and bless others through it. He's going to bless Abram and bless others, you know what I'm saying, because of Abram's obedience. You're also seeing that there's a separation, you know what I'm saying, for the elevation. You know what I'm saying? God's not going to want to keep you always in your comfort zone. He's going to want to separate you to help you grow. And if you believe in God and believe in what the signs that he's giving you, especially when you're living in alignment, you know what I'm saying, there's no way that you can be stopped. There's a protection in his purpose. You know what I'm saying? When God has a purpose for you, he's going to put his blanket upon a protection around you. That really hits really hard with me because right now I'm walking in this purpose. I'm aligned. And even though you're aligned, you're going to have like days where you're just feeling like, is this even working out? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? Even right now we're doing this biblical blueprint series, this is at the beginning, so I'm getting low views, and I'm like, is anybody even watching this? And at the end of the day, the whole thing about just being obedient and working through God, and especially when you have a purpose, it's just you just got to keep going, and he's going to clarify things along the way. You know what I'm saying? God's promises are progressive. You know what I'm saying? He's going to reveal more to you as you keep going. You know what I'm saying? The obedience is what activates the blessing. When you're obedient to God, that's when you will see his blessings bestow upon you. You know what I'm saying? Fear can make you compromise, but faith realigns you with the purpose. And when there's promises, there's provisions. And when Abraham faced certain famines, God directed him to where he had to go. One of the big stories I want to talk about is just the story about Abraham and the Pharaoh. Reading this story, because I think once you read that story, the Bible gets very, very interesting. That was never a story that I was taught in Sunday school. That was never a story I heard in church. That was literally a story that I found out by reading the Bible. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe Abram had to go through that. You can only imagine, you have to tell your wife, hey, we brother and sister right now. Because if I stand up and be like, man, this is my wife, they gonna cut me down. You know what I'm saying? It's me versus a nation. And it's just straight, and it just shows you that how powerful the covenant was with Abraham and God. Because, you know what I'm saying, God made it to where, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not low, but God made it to where it didn't matter. Soon as Pharaoh took Abram's wife, he was struck down with diseases, and everybody in the house was struck down with diseases, where he had to come back why are you telling me this was your wife? And and you see, it's just funny. I mean, I just think it's a funny story. The Pharaoh came, was buttering them up, giving them sheep and cattle. It was like, man, you know what I'm saying? And it just, man, Sarah must have to been fine. She was so fine. The soldiers had to go tell Pharaoh, man, this is a new baddie out in town. And the Pharaoh had to come see about that thing. And, it just shows, the wisdom of Abram. He knew what was going to happen. It's the truth. I can only think what would happen in the ancient world. You stand up man, that's my wife. They slay you down. Now that's the Pharaoh's wife. And because Abraham had some wisdom and thought smartly, had some quick thinking, we actually see the power of the covenant that he had with God, where it was just everybody was stricken down with disease. And they was like, man, you need to get up out of Egypt. If you want to see God move in your life, if you've never seen God move in your life, especially when you move through obedience, go to Reylo.tv and check out the Miracle Blueprint. I have a program where all you have to do is be obedient for 40 days and you will watch God work a miracle in your life. Go to Reylo.tv, check out the Miracle Blueprint, and let me know about your miracle, man. Once again, of course, this is a series where we're helping you out with life, but we're also going to help you out with this business. And we're going to have some business tie-ins, with the whole story of Abram. His journey, it does mirror every entrepreneurial journey. Is you get a calling, you feel like you have a vision, like, okay, I'm going to do this. And you just go through with it. And as you get along the way, things starting to open up to you. You know what I'm saying? I want to just encourage you. If you're starting anything, if you feel the urge to just do it, don't worry about the if it's not clear or not. You know what I'm saying? Even right now, it took me a while to get to the biblical blueprint. You actually can go and watch some of these YouTube videos, and it was called something else before I got to this point. And it was because I was just moving in obedience. I wasn't really moving with it being clear. I actually had to stop and just kept working on the idea to where everything became clear. And then once I became clear and focused, then I came back and just started making more videos. You know what I'm saying? With more of a purpose and more of a, I would say just more of alignment of what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So always just get started. The best way is just to get started, because you'll never know what can happen if you never get started. Certain things that you can apply to your business life. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, step out of your comfort zone and into your calling. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, it's not going to be comfortable. I always feel like it'll be more comfortable for me to do these as faceless videos. You know what I'm saying? I don't really necessarily want my face being shown, but as I just went through it and I'm going through it, it's showing me no, do it with your face, because people need to see this beautiful background and see how you have this beautiful setup. Because at the end of the day, I want to urge more people to do digital business and actually make more content, right? And what making more content, I can show you how to do this. It doesn't cost that much, and I can show you, because I am a business coach. Go to Reylo.tv, holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Because I built this whole setup basically on credit. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Nothing came out of my pocket. All of this was built. I got all of this off of credit, from the lights to the camera to my mic, computer, all credit. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't take me a long time to actually build my credit. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very surprising. Once I got on a roll with building the credit, and I actually learned certain little aspects of building credit, to where you go from building your personal credit, then you go and get an LLC, then you start building your business credit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a very, very simple process. It was one of the things I wish I would have learned it earlier. But when I learned it, I got straight into doing this, So yeah, step out of your comfort zone. Clarity will come. You just have to just start. You know what I'm saying? You got to build your altars too. One of the things that we see with Noah, now we got to Abram, is soon as they got a chance to, they went and built an altar and praised the name of Yahuah. They got out there and just had to let everybody know by making sacrifices and making the altar and praying that, and giving just thanks to our Father for just creating avenues and giving them the prophetic word, because all they had to do was just be obedient to prosper. So I encourage you to build your altar. And I'm not saying to just go out there and build an altar where you out there sacrificing ghosts or stuff like that. But find you time and find you a place where you can pray. Find you time and find you a place where you can read the word. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping you go chapter by chapter, verse by verse. But this is just a supplement. You know what I'm saying? You should do it for yourself. You should pick up a book and read it through. Every business can pivot. Every business can have a rebranding. But when you act with faith, you will build what is promised for you. You know what I'm saying? Have faith. And, the key to really getting truly aligned is, of course, living through obedience. But, obedience starts with just prayer. Create your relationship with God. And it comes through prayer, comes through true prayer. And then when you start opening up the Bible, and that's why we're doing this, you start seeing that these escapades and journeys that they had in the old world will give you the same type of wisdom that you can use today. We're not going to keep just babbling on, because we can talk about Abram and business all day. But what I just want to leave with you in closing is that I want you to walk by faith, not by sight. Your obedience will unlock generational blessings, and your journey will make others believe in the promises of Yahuah. Get on your journey. Go and claim your blessing. You just have to be obedient. And one thing that we're learning is that you're going to go through things. Man, they took Abram's wife, and he had to tell the people that he was her brother. You're going to go through some things. Be ready for it. Don't complain about it. Don't lose your temper. Because when you start believing that God has a blessing for you, you'll watch those blessings, and you'll watch that protection that he has over you go into effect. This is your boy Reylo. This is the Biblical Blueprint. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video.